What this means is that the great, for your questions, I'll start my response with a question on gender, 50-50 cabinet. We will do even more than that. The policy of the African Democratic Congress, the ADC, is 35% youth, 35% of the cabinet to be youth, 35% to be women. Now, if, as president, I therefore decide, as I have often said, that I would like my cabinet to be 50-50 men and women, it means that in selecting the women, we will also be selecting a lot of young women in order to be able to meet, to cover both sides of inclusion. So I'll be aiming for a 50-50 gender balance in my cabinet and working into it the 35% women and 35% youth, because youth has no gender. So you can then use that to meet the gender balance. But my attitude, my policy approach to gender issues, gender equity, is more than just numbers. We have had a lot of symbolic numbers in this country regarding gender issues. We've had a lot of tokenism. Here is my woman, tick off the box, ticking off the statistic. That's not how I come at this from. I come at this with a belief deep inside myself that no society can make progress by leaving half of its population behind. The women matter, and they are nation builders because they first build families. And when you build a family and build it properly, you build a strong nation. So my approach to gender will be transformative. It will go beyond just numbers and statistics. We will go into what are the, we're going to address what are the structural factors that are holding women down, holding them down from contributing their full potential, and therefore holding Nigeria down. Look at all the men and all the testosterone on display in Nigerian politics. What has it yielded us? It is this result that I just called of voting for the status quo. Rigged elections in every cycle, poverty capital of the world, 33% unemployment, 4,000 megawatts of electricity for 200 million people. South Africa has 50 million people and they have 60,000 megawatts of electricity. Indonesia has 210 million people. They have 120,000 megawatts of electricity. So when you look at these things, you will understand. You'll begin to understand that we're very far away from where we should be. So we will look at the structural obstacles against women, the laws, the traditions. We will work with traditional rulers. We will work with the clergy in the religions, because these are all the deep structural issues. And so we will try to create consensus on the role of women, the education of girls, the education of the girl child, and so on. Because what you find out is that when you educate women properly, they make the right kinds of decisions. They make better choices. They choose to have children they can take care of, not having children, bringing children into the world that they cannot take care of. You break the intergenerational cycle of poverty when you bring girls and women into an enlightenment. And that is where I will be starting from. I'm always a root person. I don't address things on the surface. I don't have time for that. So if I want to address a problem, we try to actually solve it, yes. And we will, of course, in the matter of inclusion, be looking not just at gender, we'll be looking at youth, We will be looking at persons living with disabilities, many of whom have been ignored in our country. And there are millions and millions of them, the forgotten, those left behind. Those are the people for whom I have come into politics. Those are the people for whom the ADC is working day and night. The party has a very phenomenal ground structure that will operationalize like an atomic bomb for the 2023 elections. Oh yes. And our woman leader here has something to do with that, because she's the chairman of, what's the association again? The Association of Women Cooperatives. Yes, the National Association of Women Cooperatives of Nigeria. And our woman leader is the national head of this organization, and they have members in every voting ward in Nigeria. So when we say we are coming for real. So we'll bring in women, not beyond the numbers, beyond statistics. We'll bring in the youth whose future has been eaten by people whose ideas are so old. You have a country with 70% of youth, vibrant population. Their future should not be in the hands of men whose ideas are aged. So it is not people's ages I'm concerned about, it's the age of their ideas. And a lot of these ideas are past their sell-by date, and we have a saying where I come from: you don't grow left-handed in old age. If you're a right-handed person, you cannot at 70 start being a lefty. So anybody trying to pretend to you that I've suddenly shifted from using my right hand to my left hand, well, put on your glasses and look very carefully. So that's the question on gender policy. Nigeria is divided. What will I do differently? I will heal Nigeria. I want to heal this land as its president. That is one of the things that is driving my desire to serve. I helped to rebuild broken nations such as Rwanda, such as Cambodia, such as Croatia, such as Angola. As a United Nations diplomat, as a senior official of the UN, if I have done it in other lands, if you give me the opportunity, I will do it in our country. And the way to heal, which is what I will do as president, the way to heal is two things. First, do justice. Do justice. Be just and fair to each and every Nigerian and to each and every part of Nigeria. And there will be peace and there will be stability. That's number one. Number two is be transparent. Because when you're transparent, as a leader, I know that transparency builds trust. That's how people build trust. That's how people build trust. And so it's not as difficult as it looks. In the UN and at the central bank, I managed diversity. I managed teams from different nations, different races: whites, blacks, Asians, Indians, Africans, Arabs, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists. I did this morning till night for 17 years. Diversity management is my second nature. So I am coming at this thing as if all my career has prepared me to handle the demands of the Nigerian presidency. Because the Nigerian presidency it comes down to 4 assignments. 1, build a nation, nation building. 2, secure that nation, security. 3, the welfare of a nation, its economy. 4, international relations and foreign policy. These are the 4 functions of the president. Chicken. And everything I have done in my career has given me exposure, experience in depth in each of these 4 things. As Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, I was at the commanding heights of the Nigerian economy, and the record of what we achieved in the economy in my time is there. It's a fact. In international relations and diplomacy, again, a lot of work I've done in that area. So many people make the mistake. The reason we do not have the outcomes we want in this country is because we don't choose our leaders well. For you to choose your leaders well, you have to know what is the leader supposed to be doing. The president is not just supposed to be sitting on a throne, exercising power. The president has to be doing these 4 things I have mentioned. And as we go forward, we will be educating the Nigerian public on how to select apples from oranges. So, the question of unity, I think I have addressed it in terms of what I will do differently. Building unity comes from the heart. If you have a heart full of prejudice against people who are not of your religion, if you have a heart full of prejudice against people who are not of your ethnic group, you cannot unite or unify Nigeria. For there to be unity, you must accept and respect the other. The other. But if you say it's us versus them, you can never build unity. If for you being in power is a chance for your ethnic cabal or your religion to have the reins of power for 4 years and lord it over everybody else, people walk into your office people walk into Aso Rock and you think that a particular language in Nigeria has become the lingua franca. If you're not operating in that language, you will be very uncomfortable. You know you have the wrong president in office. The day you come into the Moghalu presidency, and from the gate to my desk, everybody is speaking Igbo, then you know that something has gone wrong. And I can tell you that will not happen. The presidency that I will lead will be a home for all Nigerians. You will see the red caps, you will see the Abadas, you will see the Babarigas, you will see the Ashrebis. They will all be together. Inclusive. So this is how you build a nation. So you must first have the vision, then you must have the capacity, then you must have the will. Vision, capacity, will. 3 things. Note it. You know I'm a professor, so be careful about giving me microphones. But security. Security. Let me say a few things about security. The security of the country we know Nigeria is insecure. Life is very cheap in Nigeria today. Like I said, it's cheaper than the value of the naira to the dollar. How do you secure a country? As president of Nigeria, the first thing that will bring security to Nigeria is that I will have the political will to secure Nigeria. Sometimes when you look at what is going on in Nigeria today, you wonder whether there is the political will. Because the test of your political will stems from your commitment to Nigeria as an entity, or whether you're committed only to a part of it. If you are committed, if you're committed to certain vested interests, when those interests begin to create insecurity, you find yourself unable or unwilling to deal with those interests because you have a sentimental, historical, familial, ethnic, religious attachment. That is how the security of a country breaks down. And that is a fundamental reason why the security of this country has broken down today. So it's not about what some people call the kinetics. You know, I'm bringing in 6 Tucano jets, I'm bringing in this jet, I'm bringing in that. It's not the point. The security of the country starts from what I've just explained to you in terms of the mindset about securing the country. The second thing that is very necessary and that I will take care of, the borders. Nigeria has open borders, and that is an invitation to anarchy. No country leaves its borders open. How can you be secure if anybody can just walk into your country from any neighboring country? And the borders we man officially are just a minute percentage of the unofficial borders that exist through which people walk in and out of this country. In various parts of this country, north, south, west, and east. So we have to go and look at those borders. Find those borders that are not being manned and man them properly using technology. We have the West African ECOWAS protocol on the free movement of persons. Yes, but it doesn't say that you should not secure your country. It only says that if you're a citizen of West Africa and you enter legally, you can stay for a maximum of 3 months. But in those 3 months, as president of Nigeria, I don't care where you're coming from. I want to know and have a report on my desk. Where are you in Nigeria and what are you doing? I will demand it of my security agencies every day. So people confuse things. They'll tell you the free protocol of person. It's like some people have some mental confusions in this country. It's like if you say Nigeria is not unified, here is what we need to do to unify Nigeria. They'll say, the constitution says Nigeria is indivisible. Then I'll just know you're an illiterate. Yes, the constitution says Nigeria is an indivisible country. The indivisibility of Nigeria is not the same thing as the unity of Nigeria. Didn't we all go to school? Didn't we all go to school? Unity, you can be indivisible, but you're not united. And that's the point I am making. How do we unite to make that indivisibility work for us? Shikena. So, but English is hard for some people. That's okay. The economy. So security, I talked about the political will. I talked about the question of the borders. It's very important that we look at strict compliance with our national defense policy and our national security strategy. We have to take a holistic look at it. Of course, the Nigerian police has been shown to be ineffectual. So state police is absolutely necessary before this country can be secure. You must localize. Nigeria is the only federation in the world. Federalism means something where the police is centralized. There is no other federal state where the police force is not localized to the sub-national units. This is why we're not secure also. The federal government having too many exclusive powers, including in the area of security, where the police should be at the local, state levels. We have our army, which is federal, and then in intelligence agencies, which are federal, and certain agencies like the immigration, foreign affairs, and so on. So the matter of the constitutional restructuring of the country, if it's done effectively, will also help the security, improve the security of our country. The economy. Where do I begin with the economy? I hope we can leave to this afternoon.
From the exchange rates.
I know that's what is on everybody's mind. But I will go a level below. My vision for the economy is an economy that is first of all philosophically grounded. If you don't have a philosophy that is guiding an economy, the economic policy of that country will never be consistent. One government will come today, they will change this. Another government will come today, they will put it. Another one tomorrow, confusion all over the place. Because there is no underpinning philosophy. But if there is a philosophy, every policy must be checked against the philosophy which the country has adopted. If you look at America, or you look at China, or you look at the UK, you see 3 different economic philosophies at work. In America, free enterprise, capitalism in its rawest form to most extents. In China, capitalism that is managed by the government, because the government has a vision, a strategy, and the capacity to execute that strategy. In the UK and most of Europe, welfare capitalism. The state does a lot, and they tax you a bloody lot. In Scandinavia, almost everything is free, but the average income tax is about 50% of your income. But you go to hospital, you don't pay. Most of the schools here. So you might as well give the money back to the state to protect you in your old age, and if you're sick, and for your children. So there are different philosophies. So when you have a national leader, a president who understands these things, we will then look at Nigeria. What is unique about our country? What are the philosophical streams? We are very vibrant and dynamic people. Our young people are innovative. So I believe Nigeria should be a developmental capitalist state. Because if you make it only a developmental state to be driven by the state, Nigeria's state has no capacity today. So when the state doesn't have capacity, your first job is to build that capacity. In the meantime, create an enabling environment for entrepreneurs, young people with innovative ideas to thrive. The problem with the Nigerian economy is that the Nigerian government is killing the Nigerian economy. And they're killing it because they're too involved in it. They want to make a rule for everything. No, the market has its own dynamic. So, if you do not understand capitalism as a philosophy, you will never grow wealthy from being capitalist. And there are 3 foundations in capitalist philosophy. 1, property rights. 2, innovation. 3, capital. If you don't understand these things I'm explaining, you cannot turn Nigeria into China economically. That's the reason if you give me Nigeria as its president, I will, because I sabi the thing. So that is the point. If you know, I don't want to just dwell too long on this. So, but the point is, then to connect it to the question on the naira, which is on everybody's minds, you will then see all these things I have been explaining. Too much government control. We want to determine the value of the naira to the dollar, but we are not producing and exporting anything other than crude oil. The reason the naira's value to the dollar is what it is because Nigeria is not a productive economy. And the number 1 thing that determines the value of any country's currency is how productive its economy is, and export-oriented. Because when you export a diversified range of value-added products, you're earning foreign exchange in different ways. That's how. So, but if you're a one commodity, if you're a one-trick pony, you depend only on one commodity and you don't control the price of that commodity. When the price sneezes, you catch pneumonia or you catch COVID. So this is why we are suffering concerning the naira. So we keep, because it's also a demand and supply issue, and it's also about inflation. So when a country's economy is in very high inflation, it affects the value, the exchange rate negatively. When the economy of a country is how should I say? My God. I don't want to turn it into an economics lesson, but I have given you an indication about the problem of the naira and how we can solve it. We need to go to the root. If you have different exchange rates, there is no transparency. And today we have differential exchange rates. So what will happen is that the person who has access to the lowest, cheapest exchange rate will access Forex at that rate. But you cannot guarantee what he or she will do with it, regardless of what they told you. They can go to the market and sell it on the black market. So it's therefore facilitating corruption. I'll stop there.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.